welcome to this week's Modalities Movement Therapy session. Today we're going to be targeting the feet, the lateral line of the body, the deep core line, and working quite a bit into some spiral movements in our knee box position. For the workout, you're going to need a soft reflex ball, this yellow soft reflex ball, a tennis ball will also do, a circle resistance band, and a hard reflex ball, or again a tennis ball will also do. Don't forget some water, because we want to hydrate and plump up that fascial tissue. So while we're working, you should feel the fascial tissue getting nice and thirsty. Almost imagine a sponge. The more we hydrate it, the more we plump it up, the thirstier it gets. It wants to expand and protect those muscles, those underlying muscles. So keep some water handy, and let's begin in standing with that harder reflex ball or the tennis ball under the big toe. From the big toe, I want you to work all the way over the arch of the foot to the heel. And a nice slow, steady movement, getting nice and deep. Focus on getting deeper rather than faster into the movement. Work all the way from the big toe across to the little toe, along that lateral line of the foot. When you're in this position, just relax the upper body, focus on looking up so it's easier to engage the glutes, and that'll help those stabilizers. While you're here as well, focus on the breathing in and out through the nose. You're going to move into the arch of the foot and circle in one direction. And when you're ready, change direction. Okay, now looking down at the foot, I want you to take the ball under the ball of the big toe. So if you have a bunion, that's where I want you to be targeting it. And it's on the ball of the foot just below the big toe. Look down and see the ball sticking out from the inside of the foot. Now you're going to take the toes and you're going to wrap them around the ball and release it. Still looking down, you're keeping that ball sticking out from the inside of the foot. Squeeze that ball with the toes and release it. Squeeze it and release it. Do another 2 and release, and another 1 and release. Now you're going to lift the heel, continue the same movement, but I want you to move the ball from the ball of the big toe to the big toe itself and wrap it around. Lift the heel slightly and just get a nice stretch over the top of the foot. Squeeze that ball, lift the heel and work it there. So you should feel a nice stretch over the top of that foot there. Another 2. So almost like you're trying to pick the ball up with the toes. Lift it there and release it. Let's bring the heel onto the ball and massage the ball from side to side over that heel. Good, we've got another foot to do, so let's bring the ball under the big toe and give it a good roll. If you don't have a hard reflex ball, a tennis ball will do for a lot of the other releases, and possibly a golf ball. If you have access to a golf ball, that's a really nice little ball that can get into all these nooks and crannies and give that foot a nice release. Remember, the feet are our foundation, and apart from the arm lines, all the different lines of the body start in the feet. So by releasing them, we are already getting the movement into the rest of the body in that fascial tissue. Bring the ball into the arch of the foot. And when you're ready, change direction. Take the heel onto the mat. And now you're going to hug the ball with the toes. Look down and see the ball sticking out from the inside of that foot. Hug the toes around and release. Hug the toes and release. Hug and release. 2 more. And 1 more. Let's now lift the heel, wrap the toes around the ball, lift the heel. So you're trying to pick that ball up with the toes. Pick it up and stretch the front of the foot. Another 2. Squeeze that ball and release, and squeeze and release. Let's bring the heel onto the ball and roll the ball side to side. And release the ball. Let's put the ball to the side. And now you're going to take the band around the nail of the big toe. Open up the feet so you're getting that resistance. And now, looking down at your toes, you're spreading them out. And just lifting up off the heels onto the balls of the feet. And just giving those big toes a nice big stretch. With the bunion, what's happening is that bone is growing out because the bone in the big toe is moving into a bit of an angle. So that bone, the bunion, is developing to help stabilize when the big toe starts to move off at an angle. So now we're spreading the toes out. So you're stretching that big toe and opening it up to prevent it from moving across to the side. We're now going to hold it there, and you're going to rock up from side to side. So you're lifting the heel and rocking from side to side. Get a lot of movement into that lateral side. Engage the glutes. That'll help you with your balance. Another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Release the band. Just put it to one side. We're now going to lift push the big toes down and lift the little toes up. Be careful that the ankles are not rolling out and in. Keep the 4 corners of the feet under the toes, those front 2 corners and the back 2 corners of the heels down into the mat. Now you're going to drop the little toes and you're going to lift the big toes. And again, just make sure that your ankles are not rolling out. You're pushing into that bunion again, into the ball of the big toe, and pushing down the big toes, lifting the little toes again, and you're moving from side to side. Keep going, side to side. Another 2 from side to side, and 1 more to side. Good. Stand lengthways at the back of your mat. You're now going to use your toes to pull you forward, 1 foot at a time. So you're inching your way forward, locking your knees, so you don't want to bend the knees. You want to lock the knees so it's easier to engage those core muscles, those glutes. And focusing on the breathing, I want you to move your way to the front of the mat. So you're pulling yourself forward, releasing your toes, pulling yourself. We want to work those muscles in the feet. Often we put our feet into shoes. They get too much support. The muscles become lazy, and that affects the rest of the body. Once you reach the front of your mat, rise up onto the balls of the feet. push into the balls of the feet, especially the big toe. Keep the ankles nice and steady and walk back. Keep locking the knees and keeping nice and lifted. We're going to do that one more time from the back of the mat. Pull yourself forward. Thinking about your breathing in and out through the nose and walking. Yeah, you can speed yourself up a little bit, relaxing the upper body, thinking about the glutes working, the knees locking, and pulling up into that lifted position. Once you reach the front of the mat, again, you're going to rise up onto the balls of the feet and walk yourself to the back of the mat. Push up, ankles nice and steady, and take yourself back. And release. Let's all take the right foot in front of the left. And if you look from this angle, watch that the heel's not turning out or in. You want to keep the feet one behind the other. It's going to challenge your balance. You be careful that the weight is not forward. You want to center yourself, squeeze your glutes, lock your knees, pull up in the center, looking ahead, relaxing the arms, and focus on that back ankle that's going to stabilize you. So make sure the feet are one behind the other, and you're standing nice and tall and feeling that back ankle working hard to stabilize you. Hold it for a few more seconds. Good. And then from this angle, we're now going to sit the bum back into that squat position. Keep looking ahead, sit your bum back, and you're pushing up into that lifted position. So I want you just to challenge your balance a little bit. Sit your bum back. The more you look around, the more you're going to challenge your balance. Do another 2. You should feel a nice stretch up the back leg, the back of the front leg, along those hamstrings, sitting back into the glutes as well. Make sure the knees stay where they are and you're sitting your bum back and lift up. Good. From there, we're going to take the left in front of the right. So now you should feel the right foot working to stabilize you, that back ankle. Hold it and challenge your balance. Look down, just make sure your feet are one behind the other. And you're going to sit back into that squat. And rise up. Squeezing the glutes, lock the knees as soon as you come up. Squat yourself back. Keep the knees where they are and sit the bum back. And hopefully you'll feel that stretch again in the back of that front leg. Let's reach. You can extend the arms forward if you want to. And drop the arms. Squeeze the glutes and pull up. Let's reach back again. And pull up. Okay, from there our last one. So point one foot to the side. Don't go into the ball of the foot. The big toe, just resting that big toe on the mat. Now you rise up and down onto that supporting leg. You can extend your arms if you want to. And I just want you to feel that strengthening into the arch of the foot. Lift and lower. Keep going, lift and lower. Another 4 and 3 and 2. Finish off with one more and release. Bring that foot in, extend the other foot, and again we lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Standing. We're now going to bring the palms together, just giving the wrists a bit of a stretch and pushing that. So you're going to open up, push the heels of the hands together, and we're going to pulse the elbows up. The shoulders will rise up slightly, but I want you to feel the stretch in the wrist. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take one hand, bend it at the wrist, and pulse the fingers towards the elbow. Try drop the elbow at the same time, so you're increasing that stretch. Let's do the same thing to the other side. Bend, bend. 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. 9, 10. Let's bring the hands, back of the hands together, and now you're going to bounce the elbows down. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bending, making a fist, and just bending and rotating the hands out. 2. Now you're going to do the same inwards. 2, 3. And just shake everything out. Good. Have a quick drink of water. And we're moving down onto the mat. You're going to need your reflex balls now. Keep them both handy. Take the softer one of the two and bring it behind the knee. We're working into a plantar fascia stretch, which is in the arch of the foot, and that is connected via the back line into the popliteus muscle behind the knee. So you can either come up onto the knees. If there's any pain in the knees, just give yourself a little bit of extra support with the hands on the mat. If you can, hold it up and bounce the bum back to the heel. So you should feel a nice stretch into the arch of that foot as well. If you need a little bit of extra cushioning, either a sweat towel underneath the knees, or you can double up the mat and bring the knees onto the mat. Doubled up. Pulse back. Keep going. Now holding the heel, the bum as close to the heels as possible, wiggling the hips a little bit from side to side. Good. From there, let's release it. And you're going to take the ball behind the other knee. So tuck it into that. And pushing into the balls of both feet, just increase the stretch. Hands on the mat or hands on your hips, and bounce your bum back to your heels. Hold it there and wiggling the hips from side to side. Good, lovely. And release the ball. We're now going to come into a seated position. So bring the feet in front of you on the mat. Balls are hand, keep the balls available. And we're going to drop the knees over to one side. So this is our knee box position. And I want you to lift up and lengthen. As you breathe in, you're in this position. As you breathe out, come to the center. Breathe in, over to the other side. And breathe out. And breathe in. Breathing out. And breathing in. Just coming to the center, I want you now to take the reflex ball again, and we're going to give the glutes a bit of a release. So when we're in that knee box position, it's more comfortable into the hips. let's roll over those glutes. So you want to take it all the way to the lateral side, especially in that knee box position. The glute medius and around the lateral side of the leg sometimes takes a little bit of strain. And at the top of the iliotibial band, that TFL, that fascia, that TFL, can also take a little bit of strain sitting in that knee box position. So let's give that area a good release. Stick to the one side, and when you're ready, let's move over to the other buttock and massage all the way around that area, especially on that lateral side. Open up the knee, drop the knee out, and work on that lateral side of the glutes. And release. Come back into that seated position. So we're working back into that knee box, sitting nice and tall. Breathing in as you rotate the knees to one side. So you're going to keep the feet where they are. You add a 90-degree angle, the bend in the knees. We're going to take the reflex ball, the softer one of the two, underneath the ankle. And now take the heel in the hand and the same arm as the front leg. I want you to hold onto the knee. So you're pushing down and keeping that shin bone parallel to the mat and roll. So just keep moving the ball up and along that lateral line of the leg. Roll up to the knee and down to the ankle. Okay, finish with the ball just above that ankle bone, and now you're going to take the other ball and you're going to sandwich that ankle between the two balls. Point and flex your foot. Push the knee down so that movement in the ankle flows a little bit more smoothly. You can either use that reflex ball or you can take the heel of the hand onto the ankle and sandwich it between the ball and the hand. Now you're going to draw a nice big circle with the toes. And you're going to change direction. Good. Now you've released the lateral line of the leg. We're going to take, you can take either ball, and I want you to massage along the inside of that leg. So you can either work down to the ankle or up towards the knee. The harder ball will get a little bit deeper into that deeper fascia there. Once you reach that knee, I want you to take the softer ball underneath the knee and just pushing into it with the hand, find that sweet spot. So if you have any ITB issues, it'll be underneath that bony process. You'll find that the start of that ITB. So if that's your sweet spot, bring the ball there, hold it there. Taking the harder ball, I want you to roll over the inside of the knee. Now we've done the back of the knee. I want you to take the ball around the front of the knee. All this time you're pushing into that softer reflex ball and moving all the way around the top of the knee, the inside of the knee, as you bounce into the lateral side release. Let's keep the ball where it is on the lateral side, and you're either going to use that harder reflex ball, or you can use your forearm and your elbow getting into the adductors, the inner thigh release. Keep moving up and down. I want you to come right into the groin there and continue moving down to the knee. You can work in circular motions from side to side, or in length with that leg. Bring the ball into the hip, so you'll feel that hip flexor there, that iliopsoas muscle there, so it's around about there. Push the ball in there, and again, keep bouncing into the ball that's under the knee. Move it around if you want to. If you want to get a release higher up, and pushing into both the knee and that groin, you just giving that a good release there. Let's release that one ball, and you're going to continue working up along the lateral line of the leg, that ITB, and you're just going to rock forward and back. You can keep the buttocks on, or the buttock on the mat, and rock forward. Otherwise, you can push into the ball and get a little bit deeper, then move the ball up. Now, we don't want to release the ITB too much, because we know that is a thick band of fascial tissue, which is the support structure between the knee and the hip, and we want that to be tight, so that supports us when we walk and move around. Let's keep bringing the ball up closer to that hip and that buttock, and let's continue moving up. Move the ball higher. Now you should be sitting on the ball, and now you can give the glute medius, that lateral side, a nice little massage, releasing around there. Let's come over to the other side. So we're going to come from that knee box position over to the other side. Take both your reflex balls, and let's start with the softer one underneath the ankle, holding onto the foot. And if you don't need that extra support, you can bring the hand onto the knee or keep it on the mat for that extra support. If you're very tight in this area around the hips here, you can take that reflex ball and give it a good release. If you're still not comfortable in this seated position, extend the leg out to the side so you're sitting more upright, and let's roll. Continue to move along the front leg, that lateral side. Let's position the ball just above that ankle bone, either using the harder reflex ball or the heel of your hand to sandwich the ankle. We're going to point and flex into that movement. It's a nice release for the Achilles tendon. Make sure you're pushing the knee down and opening up as much as you can, and then you can draw a nice big circle with the foot. And when you're ready, you're changing direction. Okay, let's release the inside of that leg. You can either release the ball underneath or keep it there underneath the ankle and move up into along the inside of that shin. Once you get to the knee, let's release the ball from the ankle and bring the ball underneath the knee. Just starting to push a little bit into the ball. Find that sweet spot. Move the ball around underneath the knee. Once you're there, take the other ball and massage over the top of the knee. Move around the front of the knee, all the way around that area. Okay, let's start going up the inside of that thigh along those adductor muscles and give it a good massage there. Circular motions, lengthways with the bone or from side to side. Good, now holding onto the ball, pushing it into the groin just next to that hip bone where you've got that hip flexor. Take the same hand as the leg and I want you to rock forward and back, giving it a good release there, right into that hip. Good, from there release the one ball. You're going to continue working up the lateral side of the leg. So if you see it from this angle, we're just going into a bit of a seesaw motion. You can take the hand onto the knee and just rock forward and back, or both hands on the mat, and again you seesaw forward and back, lifting the hip up and down, buttock off the mat. And let's continue, so moving the ball up the lateral side of the leg. Let's bring the ball higher up. Keep going. Rocking forward and back. Once you've reached that lifted position, you can roll along over those glutes. And you've got the TFL, which is right at the top of that leg. A little bit of a tricky area to get to because it's sort of on the front side, around that area there next to that hip flexor. And let's release the ball, where you can put both balls to the side. We're coming back over to the first side, so you're sitting nice and tall. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, let's come into that rotation, back to the first knee box position. Now I want you to take the same hand as the front leg and reach the other arm up to the diagonal. So think of lifting up and out of that hip. Hold it there in that position and just move that hip forward and back. So you're wiggling that hip, engaging the glute muscles there. Now add that rotation. So the supporting hand, I want you to take it behind you as far back as you can and reach the body. So you're trying to square yourself off to the back of the room and rotating there. So you're getting a nice rotation in the waist, loosening up in the hips and pulsing. Keep going. Let's take that arm, circle it up, and we're going to go over to the other side. Do the same thing. Start off with the movement in the hip. Once you've got that movement, rotate the upper body away and go into that spiral line rotation. Keep going. Good, let's go back to the first side. So circle the arm into that seated position and back to your knee box. We're now going to hold onto the elbows two options here. If you are taking any strain in the knees, I want you to come up and stay in this position, and you're just going to drop and lift from there. But if you can, I want you to push up, engaging the glute muscles, breathing in, use the elbows, pull yourself around, and drop down. We're going to do that 10 times. On the way up, you're taking a nice deep breath in and breathe out. For 2, and breathe out. And 3, and breathe out. Keep going. Another 4, nice deep breath in. Fire your glutes with your breath. 3, 2 more. You're going to hold it in that lifted position. Drop and lift. For 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, another 2, 9, and 10. Drop down, up and over to the other side. Let's breathe in, breathe out. Holding onto the elbows, pull yourself into that lifted position, breathing in. You've got the two options: stay down, stay up if you want to. If there's any strain in the knees, you'll stay up. Otherwise, we're going through that full range of motion. That's your first option, just to lift and lower. Otherwise, all the way up and down. Keep going for 6, and release. 5, and release. 4 more. Breathing in and out. 2 more. The last one, and release. Good. Let's come back over to the first side. We're now going to bring the elbows in front of that shin. You can hold on to each elbow. The leg that's at the back is the leg that we're working. So those glute muscles must be nice and released. If you start cramping or feeling tension in the glutes there, take the ball and give it a good release. Otherwise, you're on the elbows and you lift the knee up, and we're going to bring the knee into the chest and out. Or should I say the foot? The chest, bigger movement, breathing in as you open up, breathe out as you tuck. Keep going, breathing in for 4, and 5, 6, and 7. Keep going. 9. Last one, 10. Hold it there. Lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Drop that leg down, using the foot to anchor you. So the inside of the foot, we're going to work into an external rotation. So you're lifting for 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Are you breathing? 8, 9, 10. Internal rotation. So we're lifting the foot. We're keeping the knee down. Lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last 2, 9, and 10. Come back onto the elbows. Stop and have a quick drink of water. Let's come up and over to the other side. Nice deep breath in that lifted position. As you breathe out, you're rocking around and over to the other side. Take the elbows back onto the floor in front of the shin. or on the mat. And now we're going to lift that knee up. Again, if you need to release the glutes at any stage, take the reflex ball and give that area a good massage. Otherwise, we're lifting, opening up, breathing in. As you breathe out, you tuck. Nice deep breath in and breathe out. Breathe in for 3 and breathe out. Breathe in for 4 and breathe out. Breathe in for 5 and breathe out. Keep going for 6 and breathe out. For 7 and breathe out. And 8 and breathing out. 9 and out. Last one and breathe out. Good. Hold it in that open position. Lift for 2, 3, 4. Now the knee and the hip, or the knee, hip, and foot stay on the same level. Keep going. 3 more. 2 and 1. Let's go into that external rotation. So using the inside of that foot as an anchor, lift and lower. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Keep going. For 6 and 7, 8, 9, and the last one, 10. Good. Internally rotating. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, last 2, 9 and 10. Well done. Hands back onto the mat. Breathing in. Coming back over to the first side. Good. And back over to the second. Let's rotate. Just loosening up in those hips. Good. 2 more. And the last one. Lovely. Bring the soles of the feet together. Bring the feet onto the floor in front of your mat. Take your hard or soft reflex ball, and I want you to target the big toes, the inside of the arch to the heel. So that's your deep core line, or part of that line that runs up the inside of the leg. Let's massage, give it a nice release there. We're going to work a little bit into strengthening the arches of the feet. So putting the ball to the side, sitting nice and tall, you can hold on to the knees. The movement, you're going to keep the toes together. As soon as the toes start to come apart, you know you've gone too far. So keep the toes together. Watch the arches of the feet lifting up. So we're activating the arches and strengthening the arches. So keep the toes together, straighten the knees slightly, and bring them back again. Nice deep breath in on the extension, and breathe out. And again, nice deep breath in, and breathe out. Keep going, and breathe out. 3 more, and breathe out. Another 2, and breathe out. Finish off with 1 more, and breathe out. Keep the soles of the feet together and bring them back onto the mat. We're now going to bring one hand behind onto the hip, next to the hip, and you're going to rock over to that side. I want you to reach the same arm as that top, as that back leg, and you're going to push up onto the backhand. So this is what you, from this angle, soles of the feet together, and push yourself up. Now you're pushing into the ball of that top foot, and you're going to bounce the top foot into the arch of the bottom foot. Any strain in the elbow, in the wrist, drop onto the elbow, continue the same movement. I want you to try and squeeze and lift. Let the breathing continue. Normalize the breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Drop down. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. So bring the soles of the feet back together again. Rock over to the other side. Keep the soles of the feet together. Just push now into the ball of that top foot. Reach that top hand up to the ceiling and pulse that foot off the arch of the bottom foot. Keep going. Open yourself up. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop back down. And let's just open up. Give the knees a little bounce. And again, have a quick drink of water. And let's lie on our backs. So come lengthways onto the mat. Take both of the reflex balls, big and small. You're now going to line them up on either side of the spine in those little dimples in line with the hip bone. So we're working along the sacroiliac spine. So one ball is bigger than the other, and we're just going to switch from side to side. So keep the balls where they are, one on either side of the spine. You can bring your head into your hands, and let's breathe into the arch position. So you're dropping the tailbone, keep the balls where they are, and breathe out into your tack. Let's breathe into arch, and breathe out to tack. Breathe into arch, and breathe out to tack. So just giving that lower back a little release. Do another 2, breathing in, and out. And one more nice deep breath in. And this time you're going to hold it in that tack position. And now wiggling the hips from side to side and massaging the balls from side to side. Roll and roll. Another 4 and 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's switch the balls from where they were and take the smaller one to the opposite side. So, and we're going to breathe in again. So open up an arch and breathe out to tack. Breathe in an arch and breathe out to tack. Again for 3. And breathe out to tack. For 4. Breathe out to tack. Keep going. Let's just do another 3. And tack. 2 more. And tack. Finish off with the last one. And breathe out to tack. And wiggling the hips from side to side again. And you can release the balls. We're now going to take the resistance band and bring it just above the knees. Take the feet as wide as the mat. Open up your arms out in line with the shoulders. We're going to breathe into arch and breathe out to tack. As you breathe in, we're now going to drop the knees to one side. The band might move up and down, the legs slightly, just adjust it if you need to. This is your in-breath, so you're opening up, looking away from the direction the knees are going. As you exhale, I want you to push the lower back into the mat and breathe in over to the other side. Breathe out into the center and breathe in. Keep going, breathing out and breathe in. Again, breathing out and breathe in. Open up here, keep the knees over to one side and bounce that back knee for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take the front foot and bring it onto the back knee and just increase the stretch. Again, you can bounce a little bit into it, getting a nice lateral stretch into that spiral movement. Good. Let's release the foot. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, come back to the center and breathe into the other side and bounce that back knee. 8, 9, and 10. Bring the front foot onto the knee and again just increase that stretch, bouncing into it. Use that top foot to push the knee down. Good. Release the foot. Come back to center. Now we're going to bring the feet together. We're going to drop the knees over to one side and just adjust your feet so they're at the back of the mat stacked and the knees to the front of the mat. Lift the top leg, holding the knee where it is. We're going to bounce that top foot down to the bottom foot. We did this a week or two ago, and you're going to feel the glutes engaging. We're going to work for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep the leg where it is. And now the movement's coming from the hip. You're pulsing forward, thrusting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Relax the leg, get the movement in the pelvis. 3, 2, and 1. Good. From there, back to center and over to the other side. So you're going to rotate the knees to the front, the feet to the back. Lift the knee and the leg up and pulse. Pulse, nice slow movement. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up and get the movement in the pelvis. Relax the leg and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, well done. Back to center, hug the knees into the chest. Bring the band around the feet. Head into the hands. Extend your legs up to the ceiling. Here we're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, come into a chest lift. As simultaneously, you're going to extend the legs. One leg is extended, the other leg is bent. And keeping that leg extended, don't bend that knee. You're pulsing for 5, 4, 3. We're exhaling here, 2, and 1. Bring the legs up, lower down. A nice deep breath in. Exhale, bend the other leg and pulse. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, and lengthen again. Breathing in and breathing out. Keep going, lift, breathe in. Exhale and pulse. 2, 3, 4. Lift, breathe in. Exhale and pulse. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Breathe out. Inhale. 4 to go. Breathing out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift. Breathe in. 2 to go. Last one. And exhale. Lower down. Hug the knees into the chest. Good. From there, you're going to keep the band around the soles of the feet and just giving the back line a bit of a stretch. Pulse the legs towards your forehead. Good. Let's release one foot. Bring that foot onto the mat. And keeping the band there so you're increasing the stretch. I want you just to rotate the legs or that leg from side to side. So use those toes to release into the hip. And let's hold the turnout. Pulse the leg towards the same shoulder. So toes pointing up to the diagonal and using that to increase that stretch. Let's change arms. So bring the other hand onto the band. Point the toes towards the opposite shoulder. Try keep the sole of the foot parallel to the ceiling. So you're not turning out, you're not rotating inwards too much. Pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's change to the other side. Hold it in that extended position. Rotate the foot out and in. Let's hold the turn out and pulse the leg up to rotate the foot and pulse the leg across. Eight, 9, and 10. Good. One more I'd like you to do is bring the band onto the ankles. Extend your legs up to the ceiling. Soles of the feet parallel to the ceiling. And you're going to pulse the legs out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the heels and rotate them in, turn the toes out. Now we're going to swivel the heels out, toes come in, swivel the heels in, toes turn out, in and out for 2. So that movement, internal, external rotation is coming from the hips. Keep going. Another 4 and 3. 2 more and 1. Good. Release the band. Bring the feet back onto the mat and just breathing into your arch. Breathing out your tuck. Engage, tilt the pelvis under. We're pushing up, stretching those hip flexors, and you hold it here. And I want you to breathe a nice deep diaphragmatic breath, giving those hip flexors and those iliopsoas muscles in the front of the legs a nice release. If you want to push the pelvis up higher just to increase that stretch, use your hands Otherwise, bring the feet as close to the bum as possible so you can get that nice lift into that stretch. Another 2, nice deep breath in and breathe out. Finish off with 1 more and breathe out. Lower down, hug the knees into the chest. Lengthen yourself out, have a nice big yawn and stretch. Rock yourself forward onto your abdominals. Bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, and I want you to bring one foot, bring the knees together, and 1 foot to the tailbone. Bring the opposite elbow to the center, and bring that foot into the hand. And now you're going to pulse the heel to the tailbone. 5, 4, 3, and 1. Good. Release the foot. Bring the hands next to the chest. We're coming up into a cobra. So I want you to squeeze the glutes, support the lower back, and look over the shoulders. So again, giving that hip flexor in the front, the hip flexors in the front of the legs, a bit of a release. Bring the other foot into the hand, so elbow into the center, and pulse that heel to the tailbone. You want to work dynamically into those stretches. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands back next to the chest, tuck your chin, pull back into your child's pose. Relax your forehead on the mat. A few nice deep breaths in here. And breathe out. Again for 2. And breathe out. 1 more nice deep breath in. And breathe out. Up to hands and knees. Breathing in again. And breathe out. Slide the hands to the knees. Uncurl through the spine. Circle the shoulders up and back. Step 1 foot forward. Step the other foot forward. And shake everything out. We're going to roll down. Breathing in. Chin to the chest. Roll down through the spine. And just hang out there. Move from one side to the other side. And when you're ready, engage the glutes, so squeeze, breathe in, tuck under, uncurl, circle the shoulders up and back, and shake everything out. Well done, and thank you for joining me.